Hill, right? Yeah.
I was extracting the Amazon products, but I can extract only the first page. How to go on the second page and extract that products also?
Okay. Usually there will be a query parameter in the top of the page, which will help you browse to the next page. But what we can do is, so I know like last session, Amit was doing the scraping part of the web session. And what we decided, we talked about it, and what we decided is he will walk you through the rest of the scraping sessions, particularly cookies and some more advanced sort of scraping capabilities. He will walk you through them. One of the things that you will learn in probably the next session, which is this Sunday, and the reason we are doing it this way is because scraping is, we will be spending many sessions on scraping, because from an ROE perspective, I can't I mean, I can't overemphasize how important scraping is going to be for ROE. So what we'll do is he will continue on the intermediate topics, because what you're asking is a little more intermediate, but the basic principle is in the URL you'll see a question mark, correct? It's in some URLs, and usually what happens is you pass a parameter to there. Sometimes it'll be like a page and a page number or things of this sort. And so what happens is you craft a specific URL, and you will see examples of that also in the lectures, where they pass parameters into the URL, and that enables you to then go to the next page, the next page, and the next page. I think there is a notebook also with such a facility, but I can't at the top of my head. I'm not sure which notebook it is, but we'll get that clarified for you in the next session. Okay.
Okay.
And if we have time today, maybe we'll try and sort that out. But I expect today will be quite busy with a lot of other things, so it's unlikely that we'll cover it today. But definitely next Sunday we'll have a look at it. I mean, as in this coming Sunday. Yes, go ahead, Harshita.
Good evening, sir. Actually, I have a doubt in cookies. Can I share my screen?
Okay, so just like I was saying to Sile, I think it was, we will be covering cookies in the next session. So today we'll be actually looking at some of the topics in week 2 where some students have had difficulty, and so that's primarily what we'll be looking at. Cookies, Amit will cover in the next session, which is 3 days from now on Sunday. Is that
Okay.
okay?
Okay, sure.
Okay, okay, great. Uh, are there any other questions before we get started? Any queries related to week 2? Or some of you, by the way, might have queries about whether you want to, because I've seen some direct questions that have been asked. So some of you might be considering that, TDS is difficult, or you're scared by what you've seen so far. What I would suggest is, before you decide to drop, first of all, I'll give you some information about the drop window. If you want to drop TDS on the 21st of June, which is tomorrow, there will be a drop window, and it will start on the 21st and end on the 23rd. So within those 3 days, you can click the link in the portal. A link will appear in the portal, and then you'll be able to drop the course. Now, TDS is a required part of the diploma, and as well as if you want to do the BS degree. So um, at some point, you're going to have to take it. And our goal is to try and get you through it. And although it seems intimidating, there are tips and things that we can do that will help you get there. So what I would suggest is, if you're thinking of dropping the course, Amit will join the call shortly, I think, and we will have a breakout room where you can privately discuss with him specifically your concerns regarding the course itself, whether to keep it, drop it, what are the things you're finding challenging, and he will speak to you one on one. It's almost like a counseling room. Okay, he'll speak with you one on one, and he will address your concerns privately, and it won't be recorded or anything. So you can just share your concerns with him in the breakout room. So if anyone wants to do that, then that's going to be available shortly. Okay. Can I get a thumbs up from anyone about if everything so far is okay? Great. Okay. Yeah, I don't want this to be a one-way traffic session. Okay, we're going to. It's got to be interactive. Great. Thanks.
No, the thing is like till week 2 it was okay. When I had a look at week 3, it was a kind of like some like shocker. So that's wherein like it specifically would require your hand holding here.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
both of the TAs we would need you here.
Sure. I
Because
mean,
it would
we.
not be directly dropping the course. I would not go that way, but instead of dropping the course, I would like to know how would you both help us to sail through this journey. That's where in week 3 actually showed us the mirror now.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there are some new things in week 3 that we didn't have when we were doing the course either. So it's a surprise for us as well in a little way. But I think in specific, if you look at the graded assignment in week 3, a lot of it deals with using Linux, the system commands type of things to be able to edit and clean up data. And yes, that's an important skill. But many of the things that were taught can also be achieved in other ways, and we will talk you through that. I think from an ROE perspective, I mean, I cannot guarantee anything about ROE. Okay, so just understand that first. I don't know what's going to exactly turn up in the ROE, but generally, from past experience, you won't see system command type questions in ROE. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that there. You also won't see it in your project 1 and project 2, which have significant weightage. So you don't have to worry about it there. The only place where you will worry about something like that is likely in a final. So, and there you will not necessarily be asked something, at least I don't believe you will be. You won't necessarily be asked something very complex, but you might be expected to know what the commands do. So that's the likely scenario there. But as far as solving the questions in week 3, there are ways to do it without requiring system commands. In fact, my approach is going to be to show you those alternative methods, because those skills are actually useful, because they will use this. You will use the same skills when you do scraping. You will use the same skills when you're trying to manipulate and clean up data. And so the skills will show you will be able to use again and again, not just in TDS, but even in your future career, you'll be able to use. So my approach for week 3 will be like, particularly with the view of dealing with some of the questions that are asked, like where you're asked to download a log file and sort it out. I'll show you some alternative methods of dealing with that data. Okay. Is that fine?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, great. Right. Any more questions before I start the session?
Hi, Carl. I have a question from week 2. Is it okay if I ask this time?
Yeah, go ahead, ask the question, and I'll see where in the schedule I'll be addressing it. Yeah, go ahead.
See, actually, I was trying to parse the data from the BBC website.
Yes.
The same thing I was trying that was told in the lecture, and I hit a snag. So, can I share my screen?
Yeah, we can do that. I'll before you do that though, let me look at the outline of week 2, and when we come across that particular section, we'll definitely look at your screen today, and we will deal with it. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, good. Just to make everyone aware, there is a breakout room available in which Amit will be present. If you have any sort of personal concerns regarding TDS, whether you want to drop it or you're considering dropping it, he will be able to counsel you by asking you some questions about your background in terms of programming and things of that sort, and what are the specific challenges you're facing. And he will be able to give you good advice on what you need to do And so if you want to privately discuss with him, there's a breakout room available. Okay, so you can join the breakout room for that. Okay, if there's no more other queries, I'm going to now look at some of the things in week 2 that were slightly challenging. I did. Um, did anyone have any issues with, for example, the Excel? I think that was pretty straightforward, right? So if anyone had anything with Excel, yeah, okay, Sal said that's fine. Please describe how tabular. Yeah, sure. That's definitely on my list for today. I will do that. Scraping with Google Sheets. That's okay. So BBC weather, right? Is that the one you were concerned about, right, Subid? Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, I was getting stuck somewhere, so
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and share your screen, Subid. Let's see what's the issue with that. Subid, you're there?
yeah, I'm there. I'm just setting up this screen sharing.
Okay, sure.
You continue. I'll jump again.
Okay, okay, okay. That's great. So what I'll do next then is I'll just so we got that scraping nominatim, Wikipedia, tabular. Okay, great. Now, what I'll do is I'll look. So some people had problems with the API. Okay, did in the graded assignment. Have you guys all been able to do it without any issues?
Yeah, we were able to take the help of ChatGPT, no?
Right. Okay. What about others? Anyone else had any issues? I mean, Naren, when you took the help of ChatGPT, did you understand what you were doing, or did you just were you just
Yeah, I understood. I read the whatever it is showing. I understood and I did it.
okay? Okay.
Sir, in
So
week 3, there's a problem in the graded assignment.
okay, we'll get to that in a little bit. First, we'll look at week 2 because if because you all got the results, right? And I wanted to just make sure that you all understood how to deal with the week 2 assignments that were asked, particularly some of the more challenging questions. So Sahil says, grade assignment to week 3. Yeah, so that's the Pokemon API, right? So anyone else had issues with that? Because I'm going to demonstrate that at the moment.
Sir, I had an issue over there. Like,
Okay.
I used Chat GPT to answer the question which was there in the assignment, but I was finding it quite difficult to navigate that site where the API is present. So, if
Okay,
you
great.
could
Okay,
show
great.
that, that would be great.
Okay, so that's what I'll do now. Yes, Shivani, you were going to say something?
So in the similar question, the graded assignment 2 question third, the Pokemon API, I
Okay.
am using the count method, right? But that isn't working uh,
Yeah, I'll
to equal
explain.
the numbers.
Yeah, sure. I'll explain that then. Okay, I'll share my screen now. Let's see. Are you guys able to see my screen? I hope. Great.
Ah,
Okay.
yeah, it's visible.
Okay. So if any of you have had a chance to look at the discourse, there was one very fantastic post on there, which I quite liked. So, but what I'll do is now walk you through some of the things concerning the API. So, do you understand what happens when you pull an API? So, effectively, can someone explain? Maybe Cyan, can you explain what happens when you actually do a GET request on an API?
I think it is a connecting link between us and the website.
Yes. So that's effectively what happens, and if you've got your, do you guys have your Colab or VS Code ready? Because it will be good if you kind of follow along when you're working on it. Okay. So is everyone ready for that? If I can get some thumbs up or some. Okay. So create a new file and we'll scrape through it. The let's call it ga23.ipy and so the very first thing you will need, of course, is the requests library, because you're going to be fetching something from the web. And if you're doing it in Colab, you don't have to select the environment or any of those sorts of things. They're already pre-configured for you. But because I'm doing it on VS Code, you will have to obviously choose the environment you're running in. And if you have not done this before and you're using VS Code, then you will have to do a little bit of setup. And at the moment, don't have a virtual environment set up. So I'll just create that now. But if you're doing it on Google Colab, you don't have to do any of this. As you can see, I've created the virtual environment. And you'll need the requests library. So if I run this, please install the kernel. So I'm doing it from scratch, okay? I mean, I already have other notebooks available, but I just
The
wanted to.
show is not visible. It's just showing the Visual Studio Code.
Oh, right. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Thanks for pointing that out. I think I've shared the wrong tab. Just give me a second here. Entire screen should be that one. Right. Can you see it now?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Sorry about that. I apologize. Right. Okay. So basically what I've done is I've created a file. I've done it from scratch so that you can follow along. I created a virtual environment, and this is if you're doing it in Google Colab, which is a great way to do it because all the things are pre-configured for you.
Sir, could we start it again then?
Yeah, I could. So this is using VS Code, okay? But you don't have to use VS Code. You can use Google Colab. You don't have to do any configuration. So that's what I was trying to explain there. But yeah, we can start from the beginning. So basically, I create a new file. Oops. Right, so it's GA2. Let's say it's the grade assignment 3. Oops, sorry, not PY. It's if you're doing it in VS Code, it's IPYNB. So IPYNB. So that's for Jupyter notebooks. And we need to create a virtual and unable to join breakout room. Can anyone help? Okay, so to join the breakout room, you have to click on, there are some icons at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. It's got like a triangle, a little box, a little circle. Just click on that. And then you should be able to join the breakout room from there.
I'm unable to do that. Actually, there were no options showing.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure why that is. Maybe. Okay, never mind. What we can do is we'll figure that technical issue some other time then, because I'm not sure why that is. Okay, I'm sorry about that.
In case she can join again, maybe some people who are using it's a problem of Google. If you're using some not updated version, then it doesn't happen.
Right. Okay, great.
Or you
Thanks.
can rejoin the session.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have done that one also. I have rejoined 2 or 3 times. Still, it's not showing.
Okay, I'm
I
not
think
sure why.
he might have closed the breakout session because there's a particular time in which you can join. Just ask maybe Amit again.
Yeah, can you do that, Kalran?
Yeah, he is in the breakout room. It says here one-on-one chat breakout room. What you have to do is, I mean, when you click on that triangle, square, circle thing, do you find any options in there? Does it say like Figma or some other things? Do you see any options there?
Um,
I think Carlton right now there's no option to join that. Because even
yes.
I am trying that. Your host can assign people to breakout rooms for he has to assign the people. Maybe he has taken
Right.
it
Okay.
wrong.
Okay. So sorry, what's your name? Maybe I'll assign you to that room. What's
Yeah.
the name? Sorry.
Shikhashri.
Shikashri. Yeah. Okay. Shikashri Barman, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So let me see if I can put you in the breakout room. Uh, edit rooms. Shikashri. Think. Yeah. Okay. I managed to put her in the room. It should be actually the other way around where people can join. But okay. Thanks for that anyway. Right. So back to where we were. Um, Right. So the first thing is I usually do is I create an environment. So that's because when you are doing any work, you want to work in a virtual environment because any libraries that you try to use, the issue will be that if there's some conflicts or something breaks down, you can always just delete the virtual environment and then recreate it. So that's why always whenever you're working in your local computer, try try and do everything in a virtual environment. So if you go to VS Code, and I think on the Windows computer, you can just press, I think it's Control Shift P. Can someone confirm that for me? Is it Control Shift P on Windows? Harshita Jain. Okay. Um, Harshita Jain. Oh, sorry about that. I accidentally. Just give me a second here. Just give me a second here. Okay, great. Sorry about that. It's, right. Okay, great. Okay, so we always try and work in a virtual environment, and that way you will avoid having lots of problems. So you might get a selection screen like this, and I think it's Control Shift P on Windows. On the Mac, it's Command Shift P. You get a pull down window, and that allows you to create the virtual environment, and then always choose the latest version of Python. And as you can see, it creates this folder .vnv, and that's where your virtual environment that's created. Once that's done, you select a kernel from the right side and you choose the one that's been created. And that's all that's there to it. Is everyone with me so far?
Yes.
Sir, last kernel, where from it came actually?
So it comes from this right side of the screen. Because I had already sort of done it before, it already knew which one to select. So when you select, there'll be a little window that says kernel. You click on that, and then you choose the virtual environment you just created. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, great. Then after that, the first thing we got to do is we want to import requests, which is the very first library we will require for doing the Pokey API. And if I try and play this, it will come up with this window which says it wants to install some package for the running the Jupyter notebook. Say install. And then once that's done, it will try and run it. But notice there's an error here. Now, the reason, can you guys see the error? Sure.
No, we can't see the error.
That's interesting. I'm not sure why that's not showing
The
up.
screen is frozen.
I see. Right. That's a new one. Can you see the screen now?
Yeah,
Yes,
now it's showing
yes,
error.
clear now.
Okay, okay. I'm not quite sure why that happens. Okay. I'm confused about that as well. So what that's trying to tell you is it can't find requests. That's because request is not part of Python library, normal standard Python library. So what you do is, there are two ways of going about it. If you can see at the bottom here, there is um, a terminal at the bottom, okay? And you can see this .vnv over here. That means it's working in the virtual environment. So you can either do pip install, and if you see this module name, that's the module that's missing. You can say pip install requests. So that will install the requests library in the in your local virtual environment. But I'm not going to do it from the terminal. I'm going to show you another way to do it. So you see this little code button over here, right? Interrupt. I want to join the breakout room. Okay. Harshada Jain, he's right now he's in a conversation with someone else. So as soon as he's done, I'll ask him to put you in the breakout room, because what I figured out is the administrator himself has to drag people into the breakout room. So I can't. So when he's done, I'll just let him know, and then he'll put you in the breakout room. Okay, Harshita? Okay, good. So I'm going to show you another way to do the request rather than doing it from the terminal. What you can do is you just press this plus code button over here, and then you do this exclamation mark, and you do pip, the same command. Right? And what this does is it runs this code in your terminal. So you don't have to actually open a terminal and run the code. Let's give that a try. I hope this works. I haven't tried it. Yes, success. So it's working. Can you guys see that? Yeah, great. So request is installed. Now let's give it a try. Let's see if what happens. Aha! You see this little tick mark here? That means it has imported the request library. So the request library has been downloaded onto your computer, and once it's downloaded and installed, it installed it in your virtual environment. And now we are able to use the request library in our program. So that's great. So the next thing is we want to get the API to work for us, right? So anyone wants to hazard a guess or want to tell me what the next bit of code would be?
Now we have to do the what you call request you have to use and get the response from the API.
Correct. So what you would do is you would type some variable because you want to store your response in something, and you say requests, and you do dot, and you do get, and then you put the API that you're trying to get, right? So if you go to the graded assignment, you will notice that it takes you to the Poke API website. And the nice thing there was they gave you a nice little link, if you noticed. And this is the sort of link that you would use to get your API. So we'll do that. We'll copy this. We'll put that away.
Pokemon, that also you have to copy, no? / Pokemon.
Yes. So do that. And then do Pokemon. And in the particular one that, so it's all randomized for each and every person. So I'm just going to do the one that I've got over here. So it's geodude, and let's see what happens. So it's something's happened. It's got a little tick mark there, and I hope you guys are following along. So instead of geodude, just use whatever you saw in your graded assignment. Okay, so you can check and see if you're getting the right result in the end. So the next thing is we want to check and see, this
What is this geodude means?
Okay, so in your graded assignment, they would have given you a creature name, okay, and that creature name will be different for each person. So if I show you, for example, here, right, if you look on here, it says using Poke API, find out how many moves Geodude. So that's so the Pokemon, if you don't know, it's like some uh, cartoon series which have creatures. And so those creatures have some name. And here in this example, Geodude is a creature, Squirtle is a creature. And Pokemon has been running for many, many years. And so they have different versions of Pokemon. Now, before this question came out, I didn't know much
See,
about Pokemon.
actually, I did not knew, and I could not do that sun moon question. Means I could not find the link to the sun moon.
Yes.
Means how do you locate that also? If you are on
Okay.
it, please tell me that also.
So this is why TDS is such a good subject. Actually, this is an excellent example of what you will face in the real world. Oftentimes, you'll be asked questions, you will have no idea what it is. In fact, I didn't have any idea what this was. So you will have to then go ahead and research what it is, what these things are, and that's what I had to do. And I had to find out, what Pokemon was, what's this yellow version, all these things I had to actually search on the web. Again, ChatGPT could help in that regards to kind of get to understand the data you're trying to look at.
But
And you
again,
will,
Carlton, since it is a API, no, there are already in the Pokemon API that they have given data. It is there,
correct, yeah, there is documentation there.
documentation there.
But sometimes if you want to get a deep understanding of what's actually happening, then maybe you might have to do a bit of extra research. But the question is still valid. That sorry, just give me a second, Dave. Just give me a second. Yeah, sorry about that. Just something I had to handle. Okay, right. So so that's what you do. You will get some query from someone that you need to sort out, and just like you, I had to find out for myself what these were. So so does that? I mean, I know that's not doesn't make you feel happy, but that's what data scientists do. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
You can continue.
Yeah. I mean, to give you an example, like there's someone who's wanting to recruit some data scientists here in the research park here. And the field is got to do with biomedical equipment, okay, or biomedical studies that they're doing. I have no clue anything about biomedical, but they want data scientists to um, study the data, to produce some results for them, and that's what they're looking for. So, of course, someone who is from the biomedical field will be better equipped to deal with it, but they want someone to just do the analysis on the data that they have. They are doing all the research. They just want you to do the analysis part because they lack um, the technical know-how to use the tools of data science. So that's where you come in. You'll be given the data set, and then your job is to understand the data set, apply the methods, and then produce the results. So that's just a real life thing, actually. Okay. Right. So so Geodude is a character, and we want to see what this Geodude is, right? What the API actually bring up. So when we look at the response of Geodude, so if I close this
It
here.
will be in JSON, no? You have to convert it to.
Correct. So this response body, well, you'll have to put it into a JSON. So what I'm going to do, can you see my screen? Geodude. Okay, can you see? So you want to convert it into a JSON, what you call for it, into a
Data.
JSON to be able to, yeah, to be able to um, see what actually has been scraped from the website. So actually this is R.
Sorry to interrupt, but shouldn't it be r.json instead of
Yes, yes,
response?
yes, correct. Good spot. So let's see what happens. There's an error again. Let's see what the error is. Expecting value 91. What happened here? Response JSON.
I think we should run r dot content first.
No, no, JSON spelling is wrong. JASON. Okay, okay.
Yeah, that's correct. Let's see what the error is.
JSON, correct, correct, okay.
It's working fine for me with JSON.
Yeah, yeah, JSON, sorry, my bad.
Should there be a space between JSON and the parentheses?
Parenthesis.
I don't think that makes a difference. It was working earlier. I'm not sure. That's interesting. Let me just look at the. Oh, that's interesting. So it didn't actually pull anything for me.
Excuse me, Carlton.
Yeah,
I think you are getting the error because you have written Pokemon instead of Pokemon.
very good. Thank you very much. That's exactly what it is. Because when I looked at the content, it says nothing found, right? So it didn't actually pull anything. Very good.
So while copying only, we should have copied the entire URL.
ON, I think it's still wrong.
Still wrong.
You should
That's wrong.
Pokemon. MON.
Pokemon.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, hey, right. Very good. Right. So we got a JSON from it, and now we want to have a look at this JSON. So if we print, so we know that that we got a JSON response. But what I wanted to do was convert it into a JSON object, and you'll see why in a moment. So JSON looks pretty much like a dictionary key value pair. And what happens is we need to process this. And the way I will do that is I will first show you in a pretty format what it looks like so that you can understand what's happening. Because one of the things before you find what you're looking for, you need to understand the structure of the JSON that you've just pulled. So I'm going to use another library called pprint. And what that will do is it will help us look at the JSON in a much better way. So I go back to no.
Excuse me, Carlton.
Yeah.
I am getting an error for this statement where I am doing the .json.
Okay. Did you try looking at the content directly with r.content?
No, I didn't try that. I'll check that.
Yeah. Try and see if you get a response from it. Because if there's nothing in there, then it means that there's something wrong, like we saw earlier with the with my URL. I had made some spelling errors, and that's why nothing came through. And so just check that and see with r.content if anything came through.
That is working fine for me. I checked it right now.
Right, but the JSON is not working.
No, that's not working.
Okay, can you share your screen, please, so we can
Yeah,
have a look at it?
just
So I'll stop sharing mine. Okay. So that's not a JSON response, right?
Yes, this
If
is
you
not it. This
yeah,
is
this
for
is
dot content.
yeah. But
You
if
have to convert
you
it to JSON first.
no, if you look at your API is wrong.
Why?
Your API should say https poke.co/API/v2.
Okay.
Okay,
So what happened is you didn't pull a JSON. You didn't use the API. You just pulled the URL, and so it's given you a HTML document instead.
got it.
Okay. So check and see now what content was pulled from the. No, I mean just check the content that you had before this,
Okay,
so you can see right what happened. Just run that. Yeah.
yeah, now it's working.
Yeah. So that's great. See, so that does look like what we are looking for. Great. So if you
Thank
can
you.
stop sharing your
Yeah.
screen, we'll go back to.
Sir, for any URL, API and V1 or V2 will be the API for each and every website.
No, this is dependent on the creator of the website. So this particular website, the API that they had provided, they had clearly documented that um, uh, that's the what do you call it, URL you have to use in order to use their API. So it's completely dependent on the people who make the website. So if you, for example,
So which document it will, sir, you are not sharing your screen.
yeah, I'm just pulling up the poke API thing specifically. So just give me a second here, so I can show you. So this is like I said, this is completely dependent upon. Um, this is completely dependent on each website what they want to show. So if you look here, this is the API that you're expected to use. This one here. I mean, the clue is in the name here, but oftentimes there'll be documentation for APIs. I mean, if you go to like
Sir,
check the
you are
doc.
not sharing your screen, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was sharing.
It is visible in the screen actually.
Okay. Can you see it now?
Yeah,
Yes.
now we can see.
Okay. So, so what I was showing earlier was this is the API, and normally there's documentation that comes with the API, and it will vary from site to site, from company to company. So, for example, when we used to have a business, the wholesaler has a website, okay, and you would get hundreds of products on there. But if you wanted to use their access the data directly without going through a website and without all those complications, and you wanted to get the data directly from the database using an API, you would have to contact the wholesaler and their IT department, and they will then give you the documentation of how to use their API, and they would give you a link that you would use, that you would put in your application, and then you would use that in order to get the API and the information about it. So as you can see, they provided lots of information about the API, what the various aspects of the APIs, and it's very detailed because this is a very complex database in that sense for the Pokemon characters. So it explains all the various characteristics that you will find in your API. So that's the thing with APIs. It's not the same for every site. I hope that gives you some clarity on it. Yeah. Okay. Hello.
Yeah, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So right, back to where we were. So we scraped, rather we obtained the response from this API for Geodude. Now we want to study the structure. Okay, I don't know anything about Geodude. I don't know anything about the structure of this JSON. So I'm going to use a function called pretty print. library. Again, this is okay. I have it on here, so I think it's fine. Then I use pp. Yeah, pp. And was it Geodude? Yeah, Geodude. And look at this. Now you remember what it looked like before, right? It was just one long string of all sorts of things, and you can't understand the structure. But when you use something like Pretty Print, it actually shows you what the structure looks like. Let me close this terminal here so you can see it better. So as you can see, it really shows you neatly the API when you use Pretty Print. So you can see it starts off with the key, that's abilities, and inside that there is a list. So these square brackets are actually a list, and inside that list there is I mean, you guys have done Python, I presume, right? So you can see this just like a dictionary and lists, and that's what these are. So now you begin to get a sense of, okay, so this is the structure. And then notice something else. So in the question that you asked, and I'll just quickly show that again to you. In the question you were asked, you can see that it says you want to find out how many moves. There's a keyword there. Moves Geodude has that Squirtle does not in the yellow version. And if you go back to this over here, so you can see there is these versions and there are names, and look at that, there's yellow there, and you can kind of get an idea of the structure of what's happening over here. And then there's moves as well. So if we like do a control find on this moves, so I press control F and just search for moves, and look, in the API there's moves over there. So that's what we're looking for, right? We're looking for moves, and we can see that moves is in the outermost part of the JSON. So that's a key in this JSON. So we want to find that, and we want to find the versions, and we can see that moves have versions assigned to them because some moves are there in some versions and they're not there in others. And this is kind of how you start to study the structure of the API, or rather the JSON body that you've just pulled. Any questions at this stage? Because I know this is a lot to take for someone who's never encountered this before. Any questions at this point before I proceed? Yeah, go ahead. Just open your mic and ask. You don't need to raise your hand.
How should we know which library to use? Because means I don't even know what I don't know. Before on this assignment, I had to manually, check the API and find out word by word, but did not know that Pretty Print existed until now.
Yes. I appreciate that can be challenging. It's the same challenge I also faced. I didn't know anything about this API, and it's data science is an art as well as science. Okay, the science part is the tool, but the art is in finding out the details. So one thing that might help you is remember that a JSON is a key value pair. Do you know what a key value pair is?
Like dictionary in Python.
Correct. It's exactly like that. So if you look at the structure.
Kalkan, sorry to interrupt,
Sure,
but his question was where to find Pretty Print. I don't know what is
right.
Pretty Print and all. So I have one. I mean, now I went on is the API will always have a documentation. If you go and see the website where our link goes, no, there is a documentation, and it is having already what you are showing in the screen right now. It is there in the website itself.
Correct.
Starts from abilities, moves, everything. It is there with the structure.
Yes.
We will not convert to JSON at all. I mean, here in this particular step, I mean, I'm just adding to what you told, what he wants to know. PP print is not required.
Yes.
Some websites don't have that no documentation, so it becomes
as
difficult.
per what I have known is all APIs will have a documentation. Without documentation, we cannot use API at all. We don't know what is there inside. No.
Okay.
Okay. So Just to counter that, Naren, I mean, I understand what you're saying. APIs are documented usually, but there are situations when you are scraping and that API documentation is not available to you. So then the question
Okay.
is, what do you do about it, right?
Yeah, then go for PP print.
Yes, exactly. So that's why I'm teaching it. The reason I'm teaching it is I'm trying to show you tools that will help you in your career,
Okay.
not just in TDS. And here's the other thing. Uh, Documentation takes time to study. So if it's a complex API, it will be challenging to study. Now imagine if in ROE, we give you an API and tell you, okay, this is the API link. We want you to get this data from this API link and then, do whatever. I don't think in 30, 45 minutes, you will have the time to study the documentation. But what you can quickly do is just print the JSON and at least you will get an idea of the structure. So that's why I showed this. Uh, it's a very handy tool to like quickly understand. I mean, you can see, right? It's just like a data dictionary. And the other thing you can do, like remember I told you, you had to find moves, right? So all I did was just Control F and I do moves and it will find me the moves and it shows me. So I know, okay, moves is going to be on the outermost part, the key, the main keys of the JSON, it's going to be there. Okay, what about version? Aha, so version is going to be somewhere inside there, but of course there are many links to versions, but at least it gives you some target to go for. So you kind of know where you might roughly look for them without knowing anything about the documentation, right? Is that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so that's why I showed you this. But you're right. You don't for this particular question in GA. You did not need parity print, but it's I find it a useful tool. So that's why I demonstrated it. Um, right. So I'll close this now. So we're back to here.
Cut and paste, no? So that spelling mistakes, other things will not be there.
Carlton, I think your microphone is muted.
Oh yeah, sorry. It was. Sorry, I apologize. So actually, I don't want it in R. Let's just do it as G or RGO. Let's do this as. So normally what I would do is if I was doing this professionally, I would make a function, okay? But I don't want to complicate things because many of you are quite new to all this. So that's why I'm making it as simple to understand as possible. So I'm just putting them in variables here. Just running these variables. Right. So that's sorted. Now the next thing is we wanted to find the moves and we wanted to find the version, right, which those moves were linked to. So can someone suggest me now what would be the next step? How would I get the moves of Geodude and Squirtle?
Can't we use keys for the dictionary and use for loop?
Yep, that's exactly right. That's exactly how you would go about it. You would use the dictionary key of moves because we found moves, remember? And we can use the for loop to go through the moves of the various characters. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just cut and paste some code so that it'll be a little bit quicker and we'll get moving on a bit over here. Now this is the value of discourse, okay? So I've solved this question before, but I'm going to cut and paste something that I found was very, very good. And I'll walk you through this code. Can you see this code I've pasted here?
Yes.
Okay. So we understood how to get the API. So this is a function, and basically he is given a parameter, the Pokemon you want to find and the version, okay? He gets the URL, he gets the response. Remember, we've looked at this, right? But you want to convert the object into a JSON object, okay? Because the next thing you can do is do a dictionary search. And that's exactly what's happened here. See, there's a move, and he's going through the moves through that JSON object, right? So we can just break this down a little bit so that you can see what happens. So we got geodude, and we got geo that we want to convert into a JSON. And if you look at the move, actually, in fact, before we do that, geodude, and we look at moves. Now look at that, isn't that interesting? So if we go, so these are what's inside moves. And if you look on here, there are move names, when it's leveled up, and all sorts of information about those moves. And this is for Geodude. So what we want to do is go through each one of these moves, and we want to check if they are in the yellow version of this um, uh, particular character. So you can see there's like Ultra, Sun, Moon, Ultra, and Let's Go, and all sorts of brilliant, diamond, shining, pearl, scarlet, all these sort of things are there. So that's what we want to iterate, and that's precisely what this does. For move in here, it's called data.moves because he's using it. He's putting the JSON body in this variable called data. So, but it's the same thing like we did up there. And then the next thing he's doing is looking at version group because each version group has a version name in there, and so that's what he's doing. And so if I just make a little bit of code here, and let's look at our example, Geodude. Geodude. We have the moves key, and then the next thing is we have version group, I think it is. Group details, version group details. We have to look at a single one, right? So 0. Look at that. So within the first move, because that move can be in many versions of the Pokemon character. So the first move, it's there in the version egg and sorry, where is it? Version. Okay, version group X-Y, Omega, Ruby, Sun, Moon. So that first move, which is
I think
0.
you first print, I think you first print move 0 and then we'll find a version group then.
Yes. So, I mean, we can do that. So if you look at 0, so this is the first one of the moves, okay? So if you look at the first move itself has so much detail. Let's go down so you can see it better. So the first move is called Mega Punch, okay? And this Mega Punch has various, what do you call for it, version group details about it. So that's why we are looking at the, so if I change this to 1, move 1. So this move is, if we go to the top of this, you can see it's called Fire Punch. And same way, if you go to 2, it's called Thunder Punch. So you can see as you're iterating through the list, remember we first started up here, right? Geodude moves, and you got all this. So now we are iterating through the list, and you can see that each one of these has a structure, and it's again the same sort of dictionary list structure. And so that's what we are doing. So if I go back down to here, so now this is iterating through the groups within the moves, and it's for each individual move. So that's why if I do Geodude moves, if you guys find this that you're comfortable with this notation, then I'll just move on quickly. Okay, it's not that you have to uh, be, if you feel that I'm going too slowly, or or if you're, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you're following along and you think that this is too simple, you understand this, and on the reverse side, I don't want to leave anyone behind. Are all of you okay with this? Are you comfortable with this, or do you have questions? Because I don't want you to like not understand what's happening. Okay, great. So, so that's what this does, right? So now this is exactly what this function does. It goes through that, and then the most important part was, you see here, he's doing a conditional check. So two levels of for loops. You go through the moves, and within the moves, you go through the version group details, and then he's checking, does the version group name, because that's what the JSON body would have had, is it equal to what the version we are looking for? And so, as you can see here, there are the moves, and when it finds that yellow version, he's just adding it to a list. He's adding the moves that are in yellow group. For example, in here I put Geodude and yellow. It's just putting it into the list, and we're getting two sets of Pokemon moves, one for the Geodude and one for Squirtle, and both in yellow. Is that clear at this point? Anybody has any doubts? Okay, great. So the next thing that he does is that these moves were put into a set, not a usual list. Okay, so I quite like this idea. What I had done when I solved it is I put it into a list, and then I compared in whether one item existed in the list or another list. But when you use something like set from Python, you can just quite simply use sort of arithmetic operation, and you can say something like this. Show you now. You can just subtract one set from the other, and then that will give you the moves that exist in one but not in the other. So it's simple set subtraction. And this is the idea I picked up from Discourse, because someone had posted this on Discourse, and that was quite clever. But you can, of course, solve it using list searching, but this is quite neat and tidy. So that's how you find out how to do this particular assignment. The key takeaway is get the API, understand how JSON body works, and then going through the JSON body is a little bit of Python that you should be comfortable with generally. Is that okay for everyone?
Yes.
Just one addition, the actually moves can be a list also. When you're returning, you can return is a set of moves.
Yes, correct. I mean that's how I had solved it. I solved it by making lists and then comparing the two lists. So that's what I had done.
Okay.
Yeah. But you understand why I said this is nice, right? Set. You just do a set operation, and that's really neat. That you can have one set, subtract the other set from them. What's left over is exactly what the question was asking, which is what moves does one have that the other doesn't, right? Is that fine?
Yes. No, what I told is when you're returning, no, that 11 return moves you're writing, no, you can change that moves as set in that when you're returning also. Set within bracket moves.
You're talking. Okay. Yeah. You're saying return this as move as a
As a
set.
set. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Both are same only.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next issue that people had. If I close this name.
Excuse me, Carlton, could you please
Yeah.
explain the question 5? I did the same for the question 6, but I couldn't find the OSM ID same as in given in question 5.
Okay, so we'll have a look at that now. Let's see here. So I go on here. It's this one you're talking about, right?
I had Istanbul, Turkey,
Yeah.
but the thing was the OSM ID was different, and there was only one element, and so I took kind of approximation. It was correct, but how to get it correctly?
I mean, most people make a mistake with this OSM ID part, where they get a list of returns from the Nominatim API from the notebook. In fact, if you got yours, you can share your screen and show us, because then we can identify clearly what the issue is. But most people, when they run the code, this is normally where they trip up. They don't check this bit. And
only got one element actually that had different OSM ID ending.
okay, if that was the case, I would post it into
Istanbul, Turkey.
Yeah.
It was mentioned.
Okay. I mean, you can share your
Carlton,
screen and show. Yeah.
Carlton, I also had that issue. The problem was in my question, they said Delhi, but the OSM ID didn't match until and unless I put New Delhi. So I put New Delhi, so the OSM ID matched. And in my question, I had Delhi, so that was an issue. So I don't know
Right. So
about Istanbul,
it's,
if there is any other name regarding that city, which I don't
you
know.
might,
So there might be an
you
issue.
might, you might be right about that, because sometimes when cities like we see in India, right, where cities like Madras became Chennai or something like that, you will find that issue there as well, depending on whether Nominatim has updated their thing to reflect the new name or new characters in the name. That is possible. What you could do is you could post it into discourse, your particular uh, um, issue that you had, or you can of course share it on here also, we can have a quick look. But post it in discourse, because one of the things we will do is when you post it in discourse, we will be able to then collect that information from you. And we always have a session with the instructor and Professor Anand, and we go through any of these anomalies to see if we can replicate the issue that you're facing.
Okay, I actually cannot find that Google Colab in which I did it. I will post it on Discourse.
Okay.
Also, could you please put me in breakout room?
Okay, yeah, sure. What's the
No, it's my collab was open, so I thought if you give me the country name, then
yeah,
whatever is there in your
yeah,
question.
definitely we can try that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So Shivani Tiwari, right? Or is it just Shivani?
Just Shivani.
Okay, just a second, Shivani, just a second.
Did you use your email ID, your which different email ID or whatever is given in the Sarah has given
Email ID, my personal email ID.
personal
Okay.
email ID? Okay.
Okay, Shivani, as far as the group is concerned, Amit is in a session at the moment. As soon as he's done, he will put you in his breakout room. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. So, are we? So, are you guys? Okay. So, Naren, are you? You can share your screen if you want?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll run this P print also. What? Okay, 1 second. I'll share my screen.
Because it gives everyone an opportunity to learn. I
Yeah.
mean, even we TAs learn. Okay, It's not just that you guys are learning. We learn a lot through debugging each other's code as well.
Able to see my screen?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I thought I will do this. What is that? Import PP. Correct, no?
Yes, yes. Just so that aware, it might not necessarily work for everything. Okay, it does. It works for JSONs, but I'm not sure for other things it works or not. But we'll see.
It is something like because I saw some flower brackets.
Okay.
So I thought.
Yeah, yeah. We can
Let's
give it a
wait.
go. It's this course is all about trying things.
Yeah. Location. Locator or location. I have to give. It's not working. Okay. What was the number, madam?
Just do a control F on the. So it's 9475. I think it was. She posted in the Discord.
9475 is not there. Istanbul, Turkey, maybe it's not coming, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead
Narenji,
and
put a comma. Narenji, put a comma in between Istanbul and Turkey. And check for bounding box at the output.
Yeah.
I typed it incorrectly first, but it's Turkey. Turkey.
Oh, okay. You did true key. That has to be Turkey.
I corrected it afterwards. I think.
Yeah, it has come, no? So much. Your
Narenji,
OSM
the OSM ID is 9745.
9475.
9475, sorry.
Yeah, you got, madam. You want minimum or maximum latitude? OSM ID is coming. 9475 OSM ID has come. Because in the question it says, no, like minimum latitude, maximum latitude, or something like that. You have latitude, no? You have latitude, longitude, everything is available now. You got that OSM number, same 9475. Okay.
Narenji, scroll to the
Okay,
right.
thank you.
Just
I'll
check for the
recheck
bounding
it.
box. Find there.
Bounding box here.
Ah, yeah, over there. So bounding box, now she can find the answer.
great work, guys. Great work.
Okay. Okay, I can stop
Yeah,
now.
sure, sure. Okay.
Okay.
So then,
Thanks for the opportunity.
yeah. So the next thing we want to look at. Okay, some people had issues with question 8 and 9. Is anyone here in the session that wanted to discuss that, or what's the right and why the other answers are wrong?
Excuse me, sir, for the PDF question. I just downloaded the PDF and converted it into the
Okay.
with the tabular PDF.
Yes.
But and I then added all that in a data frame. Is it all right, or do I have to scrape that with
Yeah.
the example previously done?
Yeah. So there is no right and wrong answer in how you get the answer in TDS. Okay. The goal is get the answer. Tabular. That's how I did it. Sorry. Excuse me. I used Tabular, and then I put it into a pandas data frame, and then once it was loaded into the data frame, I then cleaned it a little bit, because it depends on how you do the data frame as well. But I had to, after I put it into a data frame, I had to do a little bit of cleaning and then I was able to solve the answers. So, but that's fine. That's, in fact, I think that's my preferred approach, because if you can do something programmatically, it's very quick and it's very efficient. Naren, I could not do it in Tabular. Yeah, sure. That's definitely one of the things I wanted to do today as well. Before I show that though, does anyone have any issues with question 8 and 9? This was to do with the CSS selector. I mean,
Yes, I had this issue regarding
okay,
question number 9.
question 9. Okay, so I'll walk through question 9.
No, my the first issue is that this the I think the option third and fourth, they are resulting in the same this thing, like we are able to extract the same thing, like the contact us and the customer service. So 3 and 4, not
Yeah.
3 and 4. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
yeah, 3 and 4.
Okay, so the key to these questions, right, is that you have to be very careful about not just getting the answer you expect. I mean, what I mean by that is they're asking you how to achieve a specific objective, and there may be two options that may lead you to the same final result, but one of them doesn't do what was actually asked in the question. And the easiest way I can demonstrate that is by looking at, I don't know if you all got the same question, or I don't know if it's parameterized, but I'll walk through an example of that, okay? So just give me a second here while
Yeah, the syntax is very confusing. Like one is getting the child and one is getting the element, not all the elements, only the first child. So if you can explain the concept there.
Yes, surely. I'll explain the concept, because that will help you in like the final exam, for example. Just give me a second while I just set this up. Rather than typing it individually, I'll just go through some notes I prepared for it so that it's easy to understand. Okay, so if I close this, that should be okay.
Carlton, if I may ask, which
Yeah.
question will you be discussing now?
So I'll discuss first. Although the question was for question 9 specifically, I'll first quickly run through question 8, because it's a good example of explaining how CSS selectors work, and then I will also go through.
Okay.
I'll also go through
Okay.
question 9, and then
Mhm.
you guys can then tell me how you can, what do you think about it, right?
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, after that, question 10.
Yes, yes. I have question 10 prepared for. So yeah, definitely I will go to question 10 as well. Whatever happens, we will cover question 10 also. Okay. So what I did is, I'll just quickly show you. So I've put the code for what was in the, I'll show you the code also real quick so you can see it. So the code over here, I created, so this was what was asked in the example that we have. So I don't know if you guys got the same one or not. But the key here is to make sure that you put it in, if you're going to do any testing of your code, right? Make sure it's put into a HTML document. Don't just test it on this piece of code. The reason I say that is, the question is asked in the context that this bit of code lies inside some larger body of HTML. So always keep that in mind when you're reading the question. So there could be other elements that are of this nature somewhere in the body that you can't see. But what they've done is they've given you a little snippet here to help you answer the question, because the question can be answered without even looking at this snippet, because they're asking you a very specific technical question. How do you do this, this or this? And if I go through what I've prepared, I've done some pre-prepared things here, so you can. Okay, so in the first So if let me get the G assignment, that might be helpful. So you can see what's been asked also. So I don't know, is this the same one everyone got, or was it this also? Most of the questions are parameterized, so I don't know which ones
I
are or
think
which
this.
one.
I got the same one.
Okay. Oops, sorry about that, guys. Sorry. You guys can hear me?
Yes.
Now
Yeah.
we're
Yes.
Okay, okay. Sorry about that. I just something happened. Right. Where was I? Where assignment two? This question was question 8. So these kind of questions will trip you up in the final exam, okay? Because it does affect. Right, okay.
Sorry, but the screen was not visible.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just realized that. Can you see it now? Okay, great. Maybe I'll zoom in a bit. Okay, right. So if you look on here, it says you have the following HTML structure representing a list. Which CSS selector would you use to extract the product names? That is the text content only the span elements that are direct children of div elements with the class highlighted product. So you want span elements that are direct children of div elements, so div elements with the class highlighted products. So if I go back to here, so there were some options, right? So if we look at the options, that will be helpful as well. So these are the 4 options, and I've made some notes here so you can see clearly. So the first option, which was this one, and I think that div.highlighted, yeah. So if you look at this option here, okay, what you're asked to do is find all the div elements with the highlighted product. So this div symbol that you see here, is it okay? You can see my screen, right? Can you see my mouse or no?
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah, it
Okay,
is
okay.
visible.
Right. So this div element that you see, okay. So remember the question was find the div elements with the highlighted product class. So this is the CSS selector div. You put the dot because that's the class highlighted product. And what we wanted to find out, the span element that are its direct children. So if you want direct children of a given element, you use this angle bracket, and then you use the span. Now notice I'm not even looking at the code that was given. I'm actually answering this technical question. So without even giving you the code was just given to help you, okay? But the reality is it was a very technical question, and you can answer it without looking at any code. What do you want? You want the div elements with this highlighted product class, which you want its direct children, which are span element. And that's exactly what this is. Div dot highlighted product, direct children, span elements. What was the result? You got in that particular snippet, you got product 1 and product 2 span. So if I go back to that HTML, you can see that. So here's the div class highlighted product, and you can see that it's direct children. So this is a direct children of this div class. This is another one. This is the direct children of that, but it doesn't pick this one up because this doesn't have div dot highlighted class. But that was what was technically asked. So running the code, why these close these. So running the code is just to help you understand what's happening, right? But you don't have to run any code to answer this question. Okay, so let's examine why the second one was not right. So the second one, if you look over here, it says div dot highlighted product. That's fine. But what happens when you just use space span? it doesn't find the direct children. What it does is it finds all the children regardless of nesting level. So if you don't use that little arrow, you, regardless of how deeply nested the span is, it will pick out all those under this div highlighted product. Can you see the difference between these two? If you guys, I mean, you can use your mics, okay? You don't have to like, because I want to know that you're actually following what I'm saying.
Yeah, we are.
Okay. So everyone's fine with this, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now let's look at that third option. Why that was not
So the
right.
second option will print or will get all the children, right? Not
Yes.
the first one. Like we need product one, it will get product one and the second line also if there
Yes.
exists.
Because these all, if I show you that HTML again, actually I should find a way to make both files stick. Where is it?
Yeah, you can put it on the left or the right of the screen. Like take it out and
That's better. So as you can see, that second option, why it was wrong without that arrow, because it's looking for all span elements regardless of nesting level. So if you look here, here is the div dot highlighted product. That's one. This is also there regardless of nest. See, it's nested within the P. In fact, if I make it more obvious, I can do this so that you guys can see that. So can you see, regardless of nesting level, it picks up these and this one. Of course, it won't pick up this because it's not in the class. Okay, so that's how that works. Now, if we look at the third option, why the third option is not right. So this should be pretty obvious, right? This finds all elements with this highlighted product class. Now, interestingly, right, that would still be these two div classes. But remember what I told you earlier. This is a technical question. They have asked you the question and given you a little bit of code. The code is just to help you to answer the question. But you should be able to answer the technical part of the question without any code. Because this could be sitting inside a much bigger piece of code, which might have other classes and things. So if you just say dot highlighted product, yes, you will get those div classes in this particular piece of code. But if it was sitting, if there was like, for example, not a division, but like some other tag, I don't know what tag, but let's say a P tag that had this same class in it, it would pick that up also. So this, if you just use the dot with the class name, it will find all the elements with the highlighted product, not just the div class. And then of course, there's a space and there's a span, which means all span children, regardless of nesting level. Do you see the logic now? Hello, anyone home?
yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, after you told only, I again read the question.
Yeah.
Question is very clear. It says you have the following HTML structure representing a list of featured products. It is
Yes.
this code is only representative. And the ninth question it says structure HTML structure representing a navigation menu.
Yes. Now you understand why I'm taking you through the eighth question, right? To answer the ninth question.
So for only that 8 lines of code, maybe 2-3 options may be correct. But it is
Yes.
basically if somebody is having not having the what do you call as the exact structure, then it is difficult.
Yeah.
Our answer will not work.
Correct. So if you look at the last one, now at least someone can tell me. I think I've taught you enough to be able to answer what this piece of code does. This was the fourth option, why it's wrong. But notice the result of this fourth option. It's the
because I
same.
think
It's the same as the correct one at the top. Remember?
yeah. I
But
think because it's like you said, it's getting it from all the classes. Maybe some classes are above it and they are named the same highlighted
yes,
product.
yeah, it's getting all the elements that have this class. It could be a div. It could be an p tag. It could be whatever other tag you could imagine. It could be any tag, right? So that's what. So now you understand why this is wrong, even though the result is still the same correct result. Did everyone follow this little this question? Did everyone follow what was explained? Does anyone have any doubts? Okay, great. Right. So this is, I just wanted to share this, even though I don't, is the ninth question have the nth child? Yeah, okay. So uh, how nth child works, okay? When you have a list of items, is you can put a number where this n is, and it will give you first, second, third, or fourth child. Now that's pretty straightforward. But what I wanted to show you was this. This is I thought will be of interest to some of you, because they might ask it in the final exam, right? What happens if you want every second list item? You know, you have a whole bunch of lists. Then what you do is you say 2n. Yeah. And so normally when you want first, second, or third, you put 1, 2, or 3. But every second item in the list you want, you put 2n. And then, so I thought that was quite clever. Then what happens if you want every odd one? So first, third, fifth, and usually, if you remember, there are some tables and they will alternate color, right? In Excel and all, you will see. So you could do the same thing in HTML if you use this CSS selector, where you put li nth child and you say odd, and then you can of course color it something. Same thing you can do even, you can color it something else. And then you can do some more complicated things, you know, like your mathematical thing, 3n minus 1 or something like that. So I hope that was a little nice little thing for you guys to learn, and maybe they might ask a question in the final, and now I hope you have enough skills to be able to understand this. So now what I'll do is we will now examine the ninth question based on what I taught you about the eighth question. So let's me put that here on the side. So did you guys get the same ninth question as well, or was it parameterized?
Yeah, I got the same one.
Okay, great. So so any of you want to, so I've not put notes on you, but any of you want to hazard an explanation as to why certain questions, why certain options are correct or wrong? Now would be a chance to shine.
Yeah, we can try.
Yeah, go ahead. So I'll put the thing here. There is question 9. So it says, given the following listed HTML structure representing a menu, which CSS selector would extract only the li elements that are descendants of the UL. Now notice there's a slight difference here. Read before, if you look at the previous question, it said span elements that are direct children of div elements with the class highlighted product. But notice the slight wording change here. Would extract only the li elements that are descendants of UL. Okay, with the class main menu. And then there's another condition as well, or also the last child with their parent. So then they give you a little thing to help you with. And then these are the 4 options. So anyone want to walk through, where is the, can you see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So anyone want to explain?
And I'm learning, but I will try.
Yeah. Sure. Of course, all of us are learning. So go ahead
Select this dot main menu is the class.
Yeah.
Okay, and I need the question also. 1 second.
Right. You guys have the same questions, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It says first what with the class main menu is there. First, okay, it should contain dot main menu. It is there, and your elements are descendants of, okay, not immediate descendants. So space ul, and li is the last li element and last child. But you're also last child of their parent ul. So here only one UL is there. No, you can have one more UL because the parent has to be there.
So, so can you explain what's happening here? Can you explain what's happening?
It will select all the last child of the LI,
Yes.
which is inside the UL
Yes.
with the class name main menu. All the classes which is starting, I mean, which all the main dash menu class of all the classes wherever the UL is there.
Yeah. No, I mean wherever it will get it will get every class with the main menu, and then it will search for the UL, and then within the UL it will search for the last child.
Yes.
And regardless of nesting levels.
Yeah, it is not direct descendants or something like that.
Yeah.
This
Arrow
this
mark
is
is not there.
this is the question that is looking for, na? So this is the right answer, right?
Yes, this is the correct answer. Yeah. So what about this one? Why is this wrong?
It is starting with UL element first. Only the UL elements where the class is main menu, it will
Correct.
work.
So that's why this won't work, right?
Yes.
Then is it obvious why this is
Here
not working?
UL itself is not there.
Correct.
Because we have to question says it's also the last child, the descendants of UL. The LI should be a descendant of UL. UI. So here UI is not there.
Yeah. And what about the last one?
Similar to the second one, it says no. It will take only the initially whatever is not all the main menu class. It will take. It will take with the element which is having UL on in that whatever the class element main menu is there. It will go. We may
But
have some other main menu also.
But also there are
Also, the
these
first
arrows.
child.
No, just UL should be the first child of main menu. Here
So
in this case.
So are you guys able to understand now how to solve these problems? And notice again, the first and the second last one will give you the same result if you actually use soup, okay? Or even if you did inspect element in the browser tools. These two will give you the same result, but you can see, right, why this is the correct answer now.
But I think this was not covered in the week lectures and in the grade assignment without understanding this whole concept. Now I understand, but it would have been very difficult to solve without the logic.
Yeah, I mean the reason. I mean, this is a slight unfortunate situation, which is the thing with TDS is you would. I mean, we do mention you would have to have some familiarity with HTML and CSS. So I understand your frustration that it wasn't covered in the lectures.
Because we were already struggling with the parsing and all that stuff, and this came.
Yes. Yeah.
Overwhelming. Just
Yeah, but to be fair, I mean, we in week 2 under the optional content. I don't know if you guys were there last session, but under the optional content, we do cover CSS. I think Amit he covers CSS every term, many sessions, and HTML and classes, because in web scraping, classes are going to be very important to you. I can't again stress how important that is. That's why there were even 2 questions on class selectors, okay? Because when you come to the ROE, web scraping is going to be one. And when you're doing scraping on a very large data set, you will really want these to be very good with your selectors so that you know you're getting exactly the response that you're looking for, okay? So make an effort to study these selectors very well, okay? That's why I took the time to make you carefully understand how these selectors work. A good resource from a documentation point of view is the W3 schools you can use. Just use whatever resource you can find online so that you can practice uh, practice CSS selectors. And the other easy way is you just go on any site, you press the inspect element, and once you press the, actually let me make this a bit smaller because it's sorry, that's the wrong one. That's wrong. Okay, I'm not sure why that didn't work. Okay, let me try a different site. Okay, so once you go into here, right, you can see there are all sorts of things here. So if you press Control F, and if you, I don't know if you can see the bottom of my screen. Can you see the bottom of my screen, or is it too far?
It's visible.
Okay.
Find by string selector.
Sorry. Yeah.
Find by
Okay.
string
Yeah.
selector. That up to that we are seeing.
Yeah. So basically over here, you can put any sort of selector and try to find. So you could do like let's see, div, and you do dot, and then you do for example, let's see what we can find here. But I mean, you get the idea, right? You practice selectors, CSS selectors. I mean, this is a bit complex as far as the site is concerned, but you practice selectors, searching for selectors. I mean, you could do like this one, IEING. So practice selectors is what I would say. So we got one element here, and you can see. So this, anyone wants to tell me what the hash is?
I think it's the ID.
Yes, correct. So whenever there is an ID in your tag, then that you will get a hash. If it's a class, then you get a dot. So things like that. So try and practice this as much as you can, because you will find that very useful in that.
Excuse me, Gordon.
Yeah.
Can you tell me the difference between first and second option? I'm getting confused.
This one and this one?
Yes.
Okay. So dot main menu, okay, will select all. So dot first of all means class, okay, the class attribute in a HTML. So if you look at this over here, this, can you see this?
Yeah.
So when you say dot, you're referring to classes, okay, and main menu is the name of this class. So when you say dot main menu, it means all the tags that have this class name. It doesn't matter what the tag is. Here the tag is UL, but it could, for example, it could just as easily be like P, and it could be class, and it could be main menu. Okay, it could be like this. So what would happen is it would pick up this UL, but it will also pick up this P tag. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what that means. Then if there is a space, and now I put, there's another tag here, right? UL. UL means unordered list. So if you've got an unordered list and there's a space, it means pick up all the children that are under a tag with this class, and that the children can be at any depth of nesting. So even if the UL was somewhere down over here, like 3-4 depths down, it will still pick up all those UL tags. It refers to all those UL tags. So it will refer to this one. This is at second level depth. Then if there's one at third level depth, it will pick up all those. So that's what the space indicates, that you want all UL children regardless of depth. So UL grandchildren, grandchildren, like that. But instead of the space, if it was like this one down here, you see the little angle bracket? That means only pick up the direct descendants. So only pick up the children, not the grandchildren, not the great grandchildren, only the children. So what that means is, in this particular example, this UL main class, if that's the parent, it will only pick the immediate UL after that. So if there was a third one, it won't pick that one up. If there was one more level of nesting.
Will take home and about us if it is direct descendant.
Yeah, so here the li tags are direct descendants. These li tags are direct descendants. But this li tag is not a direct descendant because it has a parent called ul over here. So if I go back to that first one you were saying, so that's what this is. This is pick up all the ul regardless of nesting level, because there's no arrow. Again, there is another space here. Pick up all the li last children regardless of nesting level.
Okay.
Sorry, what about the second one, ul dot main menu?
So here what's happening is it's going to pick up only the ULs with this class. It's not going to pick up just any main menu So because remember, the dot is the class name. The main menu is the name of that class. The dot is the class, and main menu is the name of the class. Did I make sense?
It seems confusing.
Okay.
Yeah, sir. UL matlab
The tag. UL is the tag, unordered list. You know the HTML tags that Amit was talking about in his previous session. UL,
Sorry,
A
sorry
tag.
to, sorry to interrupt, but what
Yeah.
is the difference between dot main menu UL and dot UL? Sorry, UL dot main menu.
Okay. So dot main menu means this class, this dot means class, and main menu means anywhere you find in this document any tag. So this is a tag, this is a this is a tag, this is a tag. All these are tags, okay? But you see this light blue color that says class. So there's a class and a class name. So if you say dot main menu, that means find all the tags with this class. So here there is a P tag. It will pick up the P tag because it has main menu as a class. Here is a UL tag, but it also has the class main menu. So it will pick up this, it will pick up this, it will pick up this. Okay, so that will be dot main menu. But if you say UL dot main menu, only pick up the UL tags which have the class main menu. So it will not pick up this P tag. Why? Because this doesn't have a UL tag for it. So instead, it will only search for UL tags now, which are the class name. UL class main menu and UL class main. Only these two tags it will pick up. So that's the difference between UL dot main menu and dot main menu.
One doubt now.
Yeah.
In that, before P, if you have one UL tag, then that will be considered, no?
Sorry, say that again.
Before P in your HTML,
yeah,
the P tag is there, no?
Yeah.
P tag with class. If it is nested inside a UL tag.
Yeah, it will still pick it up because you're saying pick up all main menu, all tags that have main menu. That's what you're saying.
Okay, thank you.
The children will always be mentioned later in your list, or rather in your selector, I should say. So this will be children of any tags that had main menu.
Okay, children will come in the right side.
Yes.
Left
And
side will be the parent.
Correct.
Okay.
Is that clear now? Hello? Okay. Great. Good to see. So now question 8 and 9 is done, right? So I'll expect you guys to get full marks if these type of questions come in the final exam, right? Don't let me down. Okay, great. Now we'll go to
Excuse me, Kurt.
Yeah.
How can UL be children of dot main menu?
Okay. So
Dot main menu have to be inside the UL, na?
not necessarily. So here, okay, if you look at this, for example, if I did not have this bit, just pretend I only use this bit over here, okay?
Yeah.
It would pick up this one, it will pick up this one, and it will pick up this one. Agreed?
Yes.
Okay. Now ignore this bit, okay? And only look at these two bits together now. Okay? So select all the tags with main menu. We just did that. Now what does this tell you when you put a UL over here?
UL is children of dot main menu.
No, UL is
Technically.
children of all the tags that add this main menu. So is there a child for this with UL?
No.
No child. Does this have a child with UL?
Yes.
Yes. Where is that child? Is it this itself or is it somewhere else? Where is the child of this this tag? UL, where is the UL child of this tag? I mean, you agree this is a list child of UL of this tag, right?
Yeah.
So where is the UL child of this tag? Of this particular child, of this particular tag? Where is the UL child?
Line number 13.
Correct. That's exactly where it is. So that's what it will pick up. If you look at this, so it will first get all the tags, then it will pick up the UL children of tags that have the main menu. Then when you add the last bit on there, it will pick up. So now you know that it's this tag. So what's the last child of this UL tag?
Contact.
Yes, line 16, right? This is the last child of this UL tag. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So do you see how this construction works? Find all the main menu tags. Find all the tags that have the class main menu. Find all its children that have the UL tag, and then find that UL tag's last child.
With the LI tag.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, with the LI tag. Last child of LI. Yes. So these were LI tags. If it was A tags, for example, then it would find the last A tag.
Oh, sir. Yeah, it should be a LI tag only. No, A tags it will not find out because it says LI there.
Yeah. Over here it would say LI. Yeah. What I meant is if it was like this, if it was A, if it was like this. That's
Okay,
what I
if it
meant.
was A and in there below in the HTML also A was there.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Sorry.
That's what I meant. I was not clear. Okay. Did you understand now? Is it clear now how these work?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Right. So now to the PDF scraping. Believe it or not, it's very simple, and it's you don't have to worry so much about it. It is actually quite simple. So let's see. I've got something that's easy to show. Okay, this was a parameterized question. So you all have seen the PDF, right? So I don't have to show you the structure of the PDF, right?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, okay. So what happens is you need two, actually, let me see if this file is better to show. Okay. Okay, so there are two ways you could go about it, okay, with regards to Tabula and Pandas. So the first thing is you have to import this library called Tabula and then import this library called Pandas. Now you don't have to process it in Pandas, but I highly recommend it because it's very, very easy using Pandas, okay? So that's why Tabula and Pandas is the way to go. The other option is if you don't feel comfortable with programming, you can still solve this. You import the PDF into Excel, or you can use an online. I think I might have shown you last time. I love PDF is a name of a site. You dump the PDF in there, and it will give you Excel sheet out from it. But in this particular case, if you try to do that, it would be very. I hate to use this pun. It would be very tedious. Okay, so don't do it that way. Use Tabula and Pandas for this because the data set is very nice and clean. So what we do is, okay, this I'm not sure why this is here, but okay. What I've done is, so this is one way of doing it, okay, a simplistic way of doing it. If you don't want to do too much cleaning work in your Pandas, okay. So this is programmatically easy, but it is time consuming. So the question asked for groups 39 through 70. Actually, I better show you the question because then it will be a bit easier to follow what's happening. Just give me a second here while I pull it. Yeah. Okay, so this is a parameterized question. So it says, what is the total English marks of students who scored? So there was a discourse post and maybe an email, I'm not sure, but ignore this more, okay? What is the total English marks of students who scored 58 or more marks in economics? Okay, that's, so far you guys understand that, right? It's very straightforward. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone has any issue with that? What's being asked here? Because I understand that some of you don't, English is not your first language. So if you have trouble understanding what's being asked, please tell me now. Okay, I'll assume no one has a problem. So find the total marks of students who scored more than 58 in marks in economics. Total marks of English students who scored more than 58. Okay, in groups 33 to 69. So the first thing you got to do is actually get these groups 33 to 69. And if you look on here, all I've done is for I in the range 39 to 70, because of course in Python 69 is where it goes to. I take a page, I've just stringified this number, and I've read one page at a time. Okay, can you see that? Tabular.read PDF. I've given the file name, and I've read one page at a time. Okay, and then once I've read that page, Tabular automatically puts it into a data frame. That's why I've called this DF, data frame. A data frame is a pandas construct. Okay, so it puts it into a data frame. Then I've taken the data frame and just added it to this list, data frames, DFS I've called it. Okay, so all I've done is taken the data frame and I've just added it to this list of. So basically, you'll get a whole list of single pages. Page 39, or rather group 39, groups 40, group, things like that. So I'll just do a quick demonstration so you can see what happens. And I'll just add a bit of code here now. Copy this, paste it here, and I'll just choose single page. Okay, so you can see what happens. On that, don't worry about that. That's okay. And then if we look at df 0, you see this? Can you see this? You can open your mics and speak. Yeah, it's difficult for me to keep checking the Gmeet window while I'm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clear.
Great. So you see how nicely it has picked up the whole page. It's nice, right? It's really good. So this is the data frame, and actually it's a data frame has two components, but I won't go into the details because that's not necessary for you to know. As you become better at data science, you learn all these things through documentation. But just ignore the fact that I've done the 0, but I've shown you, it puts it into a nice data frame. Okay. So all I'm doing is reading each page individually. Now this is not an efficient way of doing it. Okay. But I'll show you in a reason why I've shown this method. Then what I've done is, once I have the big list, all I do is use this function called concatenate. So it takes the list of data frames and it makes it into one big giant data frame. Okay. The reason I've done this is, if you noticed in the data frame I showed you before, there were column headers at the top, right? And if I used, and I'll show you the other file now so you can see what I'm talking about. If I use this, the range, okay, what will happen is, in your pandas data frame, you will get these suddenly in the middle. Can you see that? So this is not clean data anymore. You're going to have to do some cleaning work. Okay. So that's the reason I'm showing this simple method. This is not efficient from a computational point of view, but this solves that problem because I'm reading one page at a time It's putting it in an individual data frame, and then it's concatenating them into one giant data frame. And what you get then is a nice clean data set. So this is the information. It says there are 930 rows. If you do the math, you can see that 39 to 69 with the 30 rows of data each will end up in 930 rows. And you get a very clean data set. So this we have done just to check the boundaries to see if there are any issues with it. So once you get it into a data frame, it's actually very straightforward to solve the question. So if you look at here, so all this work we had to do because we had to clean the data frame. That's why I didn't show you all this, okay? But if you look here, this is the next bit, important bit, right? We wanted to find out all the economic students. Is it economics? I can't remember what it was.
It was English.
Right.
English.
Yeah. So if you look at the question, find the total. What is the total English marks of students? Okay, so this is a separate thing. This is the other thing. Who scored more than 58 marks in economics, right? So this is so we found the 33 to 69. Now this is the next bit we have to find out. Economic students who scored more than 58. Yeah. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. If you look here, what I've done is the data frame. I've chosen economics subject. I've put the condition. So this is called a filter. Okay. I've filtered the data frame to tell me all the economic students who got more than or equal to 58 marks. And I have encapsulated that into a new data frame because now that's a set I want, right? So remember, this inside bit is the filter. Find me all the economic students who got it. Once I put the filter, I encapsulate it into a new data frame because that's the subset of students I'm looking at. So I've put it in this variable called df econ. So as you can see, all the students here have had more than 58 marks, okay? And then we solve the last bit of the problem. What we want? We want all the econ students, but we just want to sum up all their marks, and then you get the result. And let's see if that's correct. So yeah, 2867 was the correct answer, and that's it. It's solved. So that's it. It's so simple. If you understood how this works, right? Imagine this came in your ROE, and within like maybe 5 minutes you'll solve the problem, right? But if you had to manually find the answer to this, you would not get any marks in your ROE.
The concocting part I did not understand where we did the concoction of the.
Can you paste that code in the chat?
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll put it in discourse because everyone can see it then, right?
Okay. Second thing is this tabula will work only PDF where we have a tables.
Correct. That's the whole purpose of Tabula. It is to get tables. Now there are more robust capabilities with Tabula, but you would have to study the documentation for it. For example, you will have a PDF which is like, you saw that Premier League PDF, the table was sitting in some particular position on the page. So if you look at the notebook that was designed for that, then you can tell Tabula, okay, I want you to search this region of the page for the table. So you can do more complex things like that. But this is the purpose of the graded assignment was to show you the power of using something like Tabula, putting it into a data set, and then getting the result out of it. Yeah, no need to raise your hand. Just open your mic and speak, Shivani.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. I want to know that if we have a PDF page that has not only the tables but the content and the textual or picture messages and all that.
Yeah.
And if I want to select a particular area, so mentioned in the video, we can use some Adobe Photoshop for that or some other.
Yeah,
software.
I mean, do you? One thing I will say is we won't give that kind of complex. I mean, I can't say no for sure. Okay, this is just my my experience telling you that we will not give something so crazy. I would hope not anyway. But that sort of thing you just get by experience. Again, that's a real world example. You will be working for a company, okay? Maybe you're working for a financial company, and the financial company will say, okay, you know what? We've got subscription for this particular publication. I want you every day to scrape this particular information from this particular source, and then you will have to do it, right? So you basically have to practice using different types of PDFs that have tables in them, and then you will gain some experience. But from an exam point of view, you won't be required to do something that complicated. The reason they demonstrated it is so that you could at least appreciate what is possible with it. Is that helpful in any way? What are you
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Since Carlton,
Yeah,
since you're talking about exam point of view,
yeah.
every week can we jot down certain things like, for example, week 2, we can think of tabula, simple tabulas, then whatever API, and then
Yes.
your what do you call
The
CSS
CSS
selectors.
selectors, yeah.
So these are the things we can expect in OPE. I mean, sorry, our ROE.
ROE, you might have tabular. I mean, I won't say you might have tabular. You might get PDFs that you have to.
Clean it.
For example, last term we had that in our ROE. We had PDF data. We had to scrape that data, and then we had to do some answers, which you cannot do by visually searching or pressing Control F, or because what will happen is there are, as you can see, right? This is a simple example, but there is no way you can do this without programmatically.
No, no. As you told, no, I love PDF also. It's just a matter of 5 minutes only.
Yeah, but the output of it would have been very challenging. The I love PDF one, in this particular case, because what would have happened is because I personally tried it, I put the PDF in I love PDF, and it gave you sheets. But the problem is each sheet it gave you like something like 50, 60, or 100 sheets, and then I have to put all those sheets together, right? And it's not consecutive sheets.
No, 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 no.
Hmm.
It was not like that. It was directly it is coming. You have to say, split the PDF also is there. You have to use.
Okay, okay, okay,
So you
okay,
will have
okay.
one into 1 to 50 pages will be there. Then
Right.
you use one more this thing split PDF is there. So you
Okay,
can
okay,
split
okay.
from 35 to 50, 35 to 80, whatever you wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
Once you
But you
split,
do, yeah. But you do agree this was easier, right?
I did it in I love PDF because I did not my Tableau did not work in my Colab.
Okay, okay. But what about the method I showed you today?
Yeah, since Tableau is working immediately, it is actually if you know Python, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
and Mission MLP if you have taken, then this is the easiest.
Yes, yes. I mean, it's just like few lines of code, right? It's
Yes,
just
yes, yes, sure.
what? I mean, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's just only the concoction part I did not understand, that
Okay,
concatenating part.
concatenate this line here, right? This line.
Mm.
Okay. So when you read from Tabula, what happens is it produces a PDF. I'm sorry, it produces a data frame. Okay. So here what I've done is I've read, it's sort of like what Naren was saying, splitting the PDF, right? So that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm taking each page and it's storing it in this variable. And then I'm storing those individual data frames in a list. Okay.
Okay.
It's called
Okay.
DFS.
Okay. Mm.
Okay. So, I mean, if I wanted to just show
So
you,
this list, if we print DFS, it will show all the pages, right?
correct. So, I mean, I can just show you here only now. So let's me run this. Is it going to run? Is it messed up already? Okay, so yeah, so you can see now how computationally intensive this is. The reason this is, although this code is easy, the reason it's taking so long is it's opening the PDF, reading a page, closing the PDF, opening the PDF, reading a page, closing the PDF. So it's doing this over and over again for like, that's why it took 21 seconds.
Mm.
Okay. But because this is easy for you guys, that's why I'm showing this, even though it's computationally intensive, right? Don't, I would not advise doing this in professional circle. So now if I just print this, if I don't know what it will print, let's see. But it's basically a list. Can you see it? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're audible, Carlton.
Yeah. So it's a list. Can you see the square bracket? So it's a list of data frames is what it is. And I've just put them all together. And what concatenate does is it takes these this list of data frames, okay, and it converts it into one single large Panda data frame. So these were all individual data frames, and it has taken all those which were in a list and made it into one giant Panda data frame. And the best part is you didn't have to do any cleanup. Those headers was sorted out by this concatenation function.
Yeah, right. Because the pages contain the headers also. Like
Yeah, yes, the individual data frames, each one had a set of headers. So concatenate cleans that up for you and does it.
Okay.
Whereas if you look at this code, okay, I'll show you the quote unquote the right way to do it. Okay.
So you have set the condition to true for that to concatenate.
Sorry.
You could set the condition to true for that, right? Ignore index true.
Yeah, because what we are trying to tell it is that we want to not worry about the fact that the indexes are the same, because what happens is each data frame will have an index, right? 0 to 29. But then the next data frame also will have the same index, 0 to 29.
That understand? I didn't get. 0 to 29 is what? Like.
Okay, so when you make a, let me print off one page here. You can see.
I think you're talking about the columns, or?
Yeah, let me just show you. Here, I'll do it. If I print df, actually I don't even have to say print, right? We're in Colab or rather in Jupyter. So df, I do df0. Right. So do you see this data frame?
Yes, yes.
So in this data frame, there are columns. But you notice this number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, the rows. Huh?
These are the index to this row. So in pandas, it locates. So if you want to locate a specific row, a unique row, each row will get a unique number, 6, 7. So if you want row 7, you will get this. It's like your student roll number, except it's integer. Okay, it's just a continuous line of integers. But what happens is, because we are reading each page individually, each data frame will have the same index number, 0 to 29.
30 pages per, so 0 to 29 is then, okay, got it.
Yeah, all of them will have the same index, right? So if I suddenly just copy paste all the data frames together, then we have a problem, right? 0 will refer to 30 rows instead of a single row. Do you understand?
0 will refer to the, okay, come up again, like I didn't get it.
Okay, so if I imagine this was like your printout on a piece of paper, okay, and it had 0 to 29 on there. I had another set of results from another class, but taking the same subjects, but there also students had 0 to 30. If I combine them together, what will happen? You'll have two people with the same roll number, right? 0.
Yes.
But they will have different results, yes?
Got it.
So that's why when we use the concatenate function, I'm saying ignore index, because I'm saying, hey, don't worry about the fact that there are 2 rows with 0. So what it means is, what it will do in the concatenate function, it will create a new index that will start from 0 and go all the way to 930.
Okay, now it's clear, because it's having the same index of different pages having the same index, so it won't overwrite or whatever, make a duplicate of that. So
correct. Because and this is a little more technical, but the reason this is given, you may think, hey, but then that's always the case, right? Why do we need this parameter? That's because in certain data sets, indexes are not integers. Some data sets may have a complex index. So an example would be our roll number, 22F something something will be, right? So in those cases, you don't want to ignore the index as such. You want to,
tabular knowledge of tabular is very important, and the data
yeah.
pandas is also very
Yeah.
necessary.
So that's all it is. That's a little bit of technical information, but that's what's happening here. But the key thing to take away is this concatenate function takes a list of data frames. Remember that. Okay, it's a list of data frames, and then it creates one data set from it. Now I'll just show you this quickly. This other efficient way of doing it. Okay. So here, what happens is this is
Carlton.
yeah.
Carlton, just one thing.
Sure,
I
sure.
just want to ask you. I mean, why didn't you go with the tabular? Because I'm gonna give you my point of view. Okay.
Yeah,
So you said
this is
that
tabular, no?
mathematics, physics. No. I mean, you said that mathematics, physics, those headers were coming, right? If we
Yeah.
use tabular, I mean, if
Yeah.
we use the range.
Yeah.
So if we just do the data frame conversion, let's say the way I did, and we put pd dot to numeric, and we do the course equal errors equal course, so all the non-numeric values would become nan. So we can take the sum that time, right? So again,
Oh yeah. That's actually a good point.
it
Yeah.
would still work.
Yeah. I didn't think about it at the time. I just quickly wrote up. So I didn't. Yeah. So that's a good point.
No, actually, I had to go back to my code. So I was like, okay, what did I do? Why did you say that? So that's why I just told you that.
Yeah, good point. What you can do is post in the discourse your solution so that others can see it as well. But this,
Okay.
yeah. So this what happened, right? So I did the range, and again, this is the thing, right? This is the beauty of it. In TDS, even the TAs learn from the students, okay? Because it's too vast a subject to know everything. So that's great, San. That's fantastic. So what I did was I read the whole range, okay, 33 to 69. So if you look how quickly this runs, yeah, look at that. Okay, what's wrong? Tabular is not defined. I forgot to import it. Import. Okay. Look at that. It took 1.9 seconds. But if you look at this, it took us 21 seconds. Okay. So this is actually the right way to do it. But of course, there was this issue I was facing. So I wanted to quickly solve it. So rather than look up documentation, I did the the Pythonic way of quickly trying to solve something without looking at documentation. So I converted the the file into a data frame, and then I dropped the rows that had the word maths in it, because that will also have economics and other things in it. I had to reset the index, convert the data type into ints, because when the data frame took the whole data set, of course, if there are words like English, biology, and economics where there should be marks, then data frame just leaves it as some generic object. So I had to convert that, and then do my processing. So that's what happened when I solved it. But Cyan just gave a great idea, which is do the forced conversion of the data type, and anytime it encounters an error with a particular value, then convert it to, was it NaN? Was it?
No.
Yeah, NN. It was NN.
Coherce. One.
Coherce. Yeah.
Coherce.
Yeah.
Errors equals course. So it would just convert any categorical thing to NaN.
Yeah. But this is how I solved it. I just dropped anything that said maths, and then cast the columns into the to a uint 8. So that's
repeating the same thing.
Yeah.
At
But
finally, you got the answer.
Yeah.
So that is required.
Yeah. So yeah. So was that? I know this session might have been challenging for some. I mean, I know some of you guys are this is all child's play for you guys, but for others, I'm more interested in knowing from others who of course, find this challenging. I can understand why, because you might
No,
not
I have
have.
learned something in this session.
Okay, that's good. That's good to hear.
It's challenging for me.
Yeah, but did you understand everything we did today? That's the key
Except
thing.
what
I don't want
except what the solution that Cyan gave, I didn't understand.
Sorry, could you repeat that again?
I said the solution that Cyan gave, I could not understand that, but other than that.
Yeah, I mean, he will post it in the discourse
Okay.
so you can see it.
That's
Should I should I
good
show my
thing.
and should I share my screen and walk through the code that I have written? I can do
But
that if
Yeah, yeah, of course,
it's
you
possible.
can.
yeah, I don't have experience of Taboola and this thing.
Okay.
Mhm.
This is the
Carlton
PD,
actually did a good
pandas.
job teaching. So yeah.
Yeah, do you want to share your code or?
Yeah. I can show this. I mean, show the code
Yeah,
right now. If it's fine.
yeah, go ahead,
Of
go ahead,
course.
of course.
Okay.
Because it's a very good solution. That's a good solution. It's a
Okay. I don't know
concise, yeah,
if
it's a
the
concise
screen
and clear solution, right?
is visible or not. Is it visible?
Yep, yep.
Okay. So firstly, we gotta install the Tabula if you are doing in Collab because it doesn't take it. So again, these two are the pandas and all that. So I've just set up the PDF over here. Firstly, we gotta upload the PDF file there. Then I read just like Carlton did. I used the range over here. Again, now what I did, I did a laborious way over here, which is opening a CSV file in a writing mode and encoding in UTF-8. Otherwise, it was giving error, so I chose encoding to be UTF-8. Then I ran a for loop for each line and all that. So again, Carlton did it in a different way. I chose index equals false in CSV thing. So this is my CSV creation file. This part was the reading file. Now this part. Using pandas, I read the CSV, and these three lines are not interesting or important because I just dropped the data from the data frame the unnecessary things. And this part, what I was saying, PD dot to numeric, the mathematics, I'm forcing the mathematics column to be numeric, and the errors equals coerce. So wherever, let's say there are 99, then 89, then there is, let's say, mathematics or any categorical value A, B, C, so it would just put it to NaN. It would be NaN.
Okay.
Sorry, the A should be lesser. I mean, sorry, something like that. Similarly, I did for English, and I created a variable. I put the condition into the data frame, and I calculated the sum. It was giving me firstly in float, so I just
Okay.
went for as type int. So yeah, that's the thing. So if I run this code, it would just give me again the output, I guess. I'm not sure. So all this, if I can show you all this in 4 seconds. So this
Yes.
is the output. So I'll just share the code in discourse as well.
Yeah,
So this
and
was the thing.
the other thing you can do is also maybe you can scrub the drop physics, economics, biology, because that's
This part is not
Same row
needed
only.
actually. This part is
It's
not
in only
needed.
one row.
Sorry,
Oh,
but
sorry.
what do errors is equal to coerce do?
so.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Sam,
no, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, no, it's fine if you want to take it.
Okay, so basically what happens is, remember the data when I said if you import the whole tabula in a whole range, okay, it will produce a data frame which has, in fact, Cheyenne, what I'll do is I'll just show my screen real quick so that.
That would be better. That would be better.
Yeah, so then I can show what happens. So going back to this one. So if you read the whole file in a single shot, okay, page 33 to 69 in this case, and if you look at the actual data frame that comes out of it, okay, I'll show you here. So it starts normally, okay, that's fine, headers on top, getting the marks, but notice what's happened here. Can you see this?
So we ignore that with errors is equal to coerce.
Okay, so because this has come in the middle here, pandas data frame cannot process these as numbers anymore, right? So we can't find out students who got more than 58, and we can't do totals and things. So we have to clean this out of here. So his code, which says course, what was the syntax? Sam?
Error equal course. Errors equal.
Errors equals course. What it does is, whenever it comes across something that's not an int, okay, it sees this. So biology is not an int. So he's telling pandas, hey, what you do is you change this into a NaN value. Means it's not a number, NaN. So change it to NaN. So then pandas understands, okay, these are all numbers and this is not a number, and then it's able to continue processing the file without any issues, and then you're able to do like mathematical operations. So that's what course says. Course says take these non-numerical values and make it into NaN. So that's what it does. Did you
Okay.
understand that?
Yes. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, it's 10:30. We covered everything I wanted to cover on the agenda. I know there was a couple of questions from week 3, but I think it's a bit too late to dig into that right now. Um, it's not difficult. Uh, the assignments to solve. I know that you have looked at the video that talks about, I think, doing it via the Linux command. Where is that? Okay. I know you've seen it, the demonstration that Anand sir does using the Linux command shell. But one solution I can give for that is try and import the text file again into like either pandas, and then you can do text to columns. Okay, search for this when you have some time. Text to columns, and you can then there are parameters for that as well. So you can say only do the first column or only do the next column. So there are programmatic ways to solve it. And then once you get it into a nice data frame, you should be able to solve the most of the questions, I feel. Today you got a little taster of the power of pandas. So hopefully you will have something to work with when you do it.
I think
The
we
other
should
option.
be, yeah, I think we should be having this TA sessions on Friday as well, because Sunday is too late for us to practice. So means if we have to go for a week, the assignment, then it should be.
Yeah, I mean the idea behind the assignments, of course, is guys have to the way to learn TDS or any subject for the matter is you have to have a little bit of struggle with it, because when you struggle with it, you actually learn more and you retain what you've
No,
struggled
but
with.
these sessions are very helpful. So
Yeah, I understand. But I'm glad you find them helpful. But
yeah.
I'm giving you some tips, right? I already told you try to use text to columns in Panda. But if you're having difficulty with programming, there is another approach as well. Take it into Excel or Google Sheets. It doesn't work so well because Google Sheets, there's too many lines for Google Sheets to deal with. But Excel, but if you don't have Excel, you can also use LibreOffice. It's free of cost. It's open source software. They have a spreadsheet program in there, so you can use LibreOffice. And again, try to get the data into some nice clean columns. And here's another tip: use something called filters, data filter, and filter the columns and find the problematic rows that are not clean, okay, in your LibreOffice or Excel. But ideally it's much better with pandas and program using a programmatic approach.
Carlton, one more thing. This data will be same for everyone, no? There may not be difference, no?
What, the log files?
Yeah, log files.
I don't know, Naren, because he's got his own servers, right? He's from his company, so he could potentially use different log files, but I don't know the answer to that. We don't have access to the backend key, as you can understand why that is. So
certain questions, actually the number is not coming. About out of 9, I was able to do 6 or 7. 2, 3, I'm not. It is not matching with the given options. So we'll have to wait.
Yeah, same with me.
Okay.
We have to
If
wait.
you have, I mean, if you have
Also,
difficulties, just post them in discourse, because someone might have come with the solution. And the other thing is Anand sir is very active, so he might suggest
There is
something
no
that you can try.
solution. The procedure, whatever the question is asking, we are doing the same filtering and whatever it is there. But options and my answer are not matching. So
Okay,
that I have to wait for after the graded assignment dates are over.
Anyway, but keep playing with it. Sometimes it seems like, okay, maybe there, we can't find the right answer, but then
I'm
some
playing with that
inspiration strikes.
every night. I'm playing with that only now.
Good. That's good. That's good.
We have to play.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay, I
Shivani.
don't.
Go ahead, Shivani.
Yeah.
So for the question number one, we have like on one side we have like 5 options, and on the other side we have 4 options. So
When you say question one, you're talking about graded assignment 3.
no, graded assignment 2, like on the right hand side we have like 5 options, and on the left hand side we have 4 options, like 4 boxes to tick into, and on the right hand side we have 5 options. So that was causing a confusion.
I'm not sure what you're referring to. What exactly are you referring to? You can maybe show your screen so we can see what it was. Would you like to
Like the
share your
first
screen?
option is import data and
Oh,
import range,
yeah.
and the second one, and the second one is
It was import data and import Excel.
import XML, and then import XML and import field. Oh, I have
Yeah.
one extra also. That what was causing a mismatch, I think.
You had 5 options, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4
No,
options.
on the right hand side I have 5 options. On the left hand side I have 4. So it was causing a confusion.
Can you share your screen? Because I'm not quite sure I understand.
Okay, 1 second. Is the screen visible?
Yes.
In this, there was this option and this option,
Yeah.
then this option and this option,
Yeah.
then this option and this option.
Yeah.
And okay, I made an error. I thought there
Okay.
was
Okay. Yeah. No worries. Okay, guys. I'm going to stop recording now uh, because we have already gone to 2 hours and 40 minutes. And let's see here. 14.